Good afternoon, everyone. This is Chantel, your host of Speak Your Way. It is Monday, February 28th, and the last day of this month. I happen to love the month of March. Not only is a Punchki Day tomorrow, and for some of you who love pancakes, St. Patrick's Day is approaching, my fave day of the year. And not just because I like to drink, but because I actually love the Irish culture and everything to do with it. Even though, if you ask a true Irish person, they will tell you all of the stuff we wear on St. Patrick's Day and most of our traditions here in Canada or the US, the Irish will actually call it fake plastic Irish. I learned that on my trip to Ireland back in 2018. I also love that it's the first day of spring on the 20th of March, and then comes my wedding anniversary on the 25th. So that is why I happen to absolutely love the month of March. Just a quick reminder before we get started. Please remember that this show is a safe place to speak. Therefore, we must treat everyone and all their stories and this show with the utmost respect. And if after today's show you would like to share your story, please feel free to email myself at speakyourwaypodcast@gmail.com. all in lowercase letters. Again, that is speakyourwaypodcast@gmail.com. Or if you're feeling brave and you would like to be interviewed, please also email me at speakyourway@gmail.com. And you must live in the Windsor-Essex County area, and I would be happy to set something up with you. Our topic for today may be extremely triggering, so I thought I would share with you some very important phone numbers, such as Windsor-Essex County 24-hour crisis hotline number. That number is 519-973-4435. Also, I will share with you the Canada Suicide Prevention Helpline at 1-833-456-4566. Those two numbers are both 24/7. I will also share with you the United States phone number, and that is 1-800-784-2433, as well as the National Suicide Hotline number. It is 1-800-273-8255. Those numbers are also 24/7. And if you need help right away, please do not hesitate and call 911 or go to your nearest emergency room. Let's get started today and see how everyone is feeling out of 10. I think I'm about a 9, and well, only because I actually had a great weekend where I finally got caught up on some much needed sleep. I spoke to you all about my bad nightmares and how I've been unable to sleep in my latest show. And well, something magical actually happened. The sleep fairies granted me 3 nights of uninterrupted sleep. And I finally had a girls' night out with some great ladies. I really needed that. Since COVID restrictions, I have been pretty much limited as to what I feel comfortable doing, and also for the safety of my family. So what is your number today? Like I always say, there are no perfect numbers, no perfect days, and no perfect people. And if your number happens to be low, you have so much time to work on it. And just like I mentioned last week about our mental health toolboxes, think about what tool you can use to help raise your number. Is it a nice walk? Perhaps meditation? Or maybe it is planning a fun night out, like myself this past weekend. It's up to you to work on that. And don't forget, I myself am an addictions mental health worker who is always around through email if you need some advice about what to put in your mental health toolboxes. So today, I would like to speak to you all about suicide ideation and what that exactly means. A few facts first. Did you know that 4,000 people die by suicide in Canada each year? For every suicide death, are an estimated 20 to 25 attempts. An average of 275 people attempt suicide in Canada every day. Also, an average of 11 people a day die by suicide in Canada. Suicide accounts for 24% of all deaths among 15 to 24-year-olds living here in Canada. I would also like to mention that out of 7 to 10 people will be permanently affected by every loss to suicide. Studies also show alcohol involved in about a third of all suicide. Alcohol abuse is second only to depression as the diagnosis in people who attempt suicide. First of all, there are 2 types of suicide ideation. One is called passive and the other is called active. Some people think that since their friend or loved one keeps thinking about wanting to die and may have heavy negative thoughts or also act out with risky behaviors means that they may be suicidal. This may be true, but more than often, they have what is called passive suicidal ideation, and they have no real plan in place. This doesn't mean that they do not need any kind of help, but what it does mean is that they do not have a set plan in place, like someone who is in active suicide ideation. Someone with passive suicide ideation may desire death and can be just as dangerous as with someone who has a plan to harm themselves. Because at times these thoughts can be extremely dangerous, they can change extremely fast and therefore require just as much help as someone who is in active suicidal ideation. Passive suicidal ideation can be triggered and become active very quickly by, say, an unpredictable fight, an extremely bad day, a physical illness, or a decline in mental health, such as a full-fledged depressive episode. These are just a few examples. There are many risk factors for suicide, and I will give a few. Abuse, neglect, exploitation, academic pressures, problems at school. You may be accident prone, have a chronic terminal illness, family or self-history of anxiety or depression, family history of suicide, possible incarceration, prison, or jail, lack of access to mental health care. Those are just a list of many. Then we go back to suicide ideation, my topic for today, where the client talks about wanting to be dead, imagining serious illness, seems very gloomy, brooding, and sometimes this can last as long as a year or even longer. For some, this is passive, like I mentioned. People who feel suicidal may show sudden change in mood or behavior, show a sense of hopelessness and helplessness, express the wish to die or end their life, increase substance abuse, withdrawal from people and activities that they previously enjoyed, experiencing changes in sleeping patterns, have a decreased appetite, give away prized possessions, or make preparations for their death. Example, creating a will. I need you all to know this is just a summary of what is out there for information on suicide ideation and how important it is to know the difference and know that each is just as important and that both of these need just as much help, because you never know when a person can be triggered at any moment. If someone you know threatens suicide, talks about wanting to die, appears depressed, sad, withdrawn, deliberately injures him or herself, shows changes in mood, behavior, or appearance, abuses drugs and or alcohol, you know it's time. We need to sit down and have that talk with our loved ones or friends. How can we help our friends and loved ones? Remember to stay calm and listen. I know that can be difficult, but it's very important. Let the person talk about their feelings. Be accepting, and please do not judge. Ask if they have suicidal thoughts. Let them know help is available, and stay with them until connected to help. Take all threats of suicide seriously. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy day to listen about a very serious topic that more than ever we need to talk about, especially during these times of uncertainty in our world, with COVID still lingering and people losing their jobs because of mandates and other disturbances around the world, such as war and you name it, homelessness, drugs, whatever is going on in today's world. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Your host of Speak Your Way, Chantel. Till next time, give your loved ones a big hug and talk to them. Please, never stop talking. Not now and not ever. Have a wonderful day.